Hey guys, welcome back to a brand new video and welcome back to a WWE 2K20 video today where we're going to be doing something a little bit different. Because usually when it comes to my WWE 2K22 videos, I don't really do full thought out concepts. I'm more just talking about different things when it comes to 2K22 and giving my opinion. And I haven't really done one of these concept videos since maybe like to the road to 2K20 or the road to 2K19. I think it's been a while. However, with that being said, I was making a MyCAREER video a few days ago and I was in the backstage area to get like some interview clips because I used like the wall in the backstage area near the parking lot for like some of my interviews, like the more miscellaneous ones that are outside of WWE, like for example the Impact ones, for example the interviews that I do with Rey Paquette and other wrestlers in AEW GM and so on and so forth, and a bunch of other different videos. And then also recently I saw this mod on 2kmods.com where essentially someone had gone ahead and changed all the logos backstage and everything to be more of a WWF Attitude Era backstage area, and it kind of got me thinking, wouldn't it be great if we could do that outside of mods and we could do it for more wrestling companies and we could do it ourselves? And so then here we are, we have a WWE 2K20 video about the concept Create a Backstage. And so essentially what I'd be looking for out of this feature in WWE 2K22 or any future WWE game, because it may be too late for them to do this now if they haven't done it already, but essentially I would want them to allow us to make a backstage area in any layout we want and attach it to any arena. And why even stop there? I would also not only like them to allow us to change the layout and attach it to any arena with the normal backstage area, but I also want them to allow us to go outside like we could in the old SmackDown Here Comes the Pain game. Because I know it's just a thing in the WWE community, we're always referencing SmackDown Here Comes the Pain for different things because it was one of the greatest games ever. But at the same time, you'd think that by now, especially with Full Sail University, with the fact that there's been so many things to go on in NXT history in that parking lot, you'd think in these WWE games we'd have a backstage area by now where we could go outside. Like, seriously, it's been what, like 3 or 4, maybe 5 games in a row where we've had this backstage area and it's been basically the exact same thing. They kind of retextured the walls with the 2K21 compared to 2K19, but I mean, changing a few textures ain't gonna fool me. It's still the same thing, dude. So yeah, considering the fact that there was the Aleister Black conspiracy in Full Sail parking lot, a bunch of people have been attacked right there, there was the Undisputed Era doing a bunch of stuff in the parking lot, and just a bunch of other stuff in WWE history that has happened in the outside area backstage. Whether it be a boiler brawl with the likes of Mankind or The Rock and Stone Cold brawling on a bridge, maybe a bridge and like, you know, throwing someone into the water, that's a whole different thing. But you know, these different events and like all this stuff that has happened in WWE history, and I mean as well, actually off the top of my head, I'm thinking about this now, the 24/7 Championship is a huge example of them using the backstage area in all these different arenas to their advantage, and I think it's something that I would like to see them represent in the next WWE game or a future WWE game. Like, just think of all the unique ways that R-Truth has lost that 24/7 7-Eleven European Championship and just apply that to a WWE game, okay? Additionally, another thing that I'd really like to see in this backstage area or like this overhaul backstage area, I talked briefly about, you know, possibly The Rock and Stone Cold throwing each other into the water and how that could be an idea, but I'd also just love in general random world events that could happen in the backstage area. I think there's a lot of untapped potential when it comes to that backstage area. For example, you remember in SmackDown vs. Raw 2006, I think it was, where Teddy Long gets run down by a car? Imagine if that happened in your match and that's how the match ended. Or if it was a tough son of a bitch, they just survived and they kept going because they're crazy. I think that could be pretty funny, you know, with someone like Mick Foley. He has a certain ability where he's just one of the few characters that he gets hit by a car and he keeps going because he's Mankind. In this Create a Backstage area, I would also like the ability to place props anywhere, scaffolding, ambulances, road cases, tables, ladders, briefcases, cars, TVs, etc. Like, I guess what I'm trying to say is in a similar way to how Create an Arena gives you so many options to place things, like in that little backstage, or not backstage area, like the little area at the side where you can brawl, you know, where there's like the road case and there's like a kendo stick and there's like a trash can. If we could do that in the backstage area, but we could literally go in as if we were playing Minecraft or like a Lego Star Wars game or something. Or just any Lego game, or in fact the game I'm really thinking of here is The Sims, where you can just place stuff around. I was trying to think out, it wasn't coming to me, but it has now came to me. I'm talking about The Sims, where you could just place stuff in the open world. Obviously it doesn't have to be as customizable as The Sims, but in the same fashion where you know, if we did have Create a Backstage, we could place props anywhere and it would just be there, and then we could upload those Create a Backstages to community creations. It would be great. And of course, naturally, when it comes to customization, it goes without saying this, but as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I'd like the option to be able to change the logos on the doors, in the locker rooms, on the truck, etc. Because let me tell you, as a WWE 2K content creator, trying to do videos with the backstage area with other companies like AEW or Impact, and then having that massive WWE truck in the background with Brock Lesnar and Xavier Woods on it, it's annoying. It's annoying. Like, you wouldn't think I was making fucking innocent little WWE 2K YouTube videos because I'm out here shooting a film like fucking Quentin Tarantino, like, oh, okay, let me just get that out of the shot, let me just, Stop making my job so hard, WWE 2K. Let me customize these arenas, let me make a blank truck, okay? I don't even care if it doesn't have an AEW logo on it, I just remove it. I don't want WWE on there. I would simply just like to have a plain black truck, just so it looks like any random parking lot, not a WWE parking lot. With this create a backstage idea, I would also really love to see a change where we can change who is backstage. For example, with other companies, we wouldn't have Stephanie, Vince, and Triple H backstage, you know, standing there just waiting for something to happen. We would have the likes of Tony Khan, or even, for example, if you really want to make it customizable, allow us when we're like selecting the create a backstage area and where we're selecting the match, allow us to change those backstage people with our own cause or with other people in the game. So like they'd be still standing there kind of like NPCs, but we could be the ones to pick who is actually there, you know? And I spoke about the ability to place props anywhere, you know, the props like scaffolding and ambulances that are already in the backstage area, but let's also add more backstage items, right? Let's add one of those weird extendy things from Roman versus KO at the Royal Rumble. Let's add more cars to literally drive around it, kind of like a Here Comes the Pain type beat. Let me literally go up and down the stairs at full sail and jump off the roof in a big OMG moment. Let me call in some of my boys to jump somebody in the parking lot like someone did to Aleister Black. And finally, maybe the biggest thing that I want out of a new backstage area in WWE 2K22 or any future WWE game, if we're disregarding the customizability or anything like that, if you don't want to go ahead and do all of that because it's too much effort or whatever you want to say, please, for the love of God, give me multi-man backstage fights, triple threats, fatal 4-ways, tag team fights, fatal 5-way fights, 8-man fights backstage, because for God's sake, it is not realistic to only have a one-on-one backstage fight in the game. It is ridiculous at this point. Like I spoke briefly in the recent Reddit video about how there's no multi-man rivalries for Universe mode. Why is there no multi-man backstage fights? Would that even be that hard to program? Am I fucking crazy? Would that be that difficult? I don't know. At the bare minimum, you've got to at least give us tag team backstage brawls, right? Like, surely that's like the minimum for 2K22, right? I don't think I'm asking too much for that. And not to mention, by the way, if you did give me multi-man brawls backstage, it would help a lot for my career videos. So, that would be great for me. But honestly, in reality, as much as I did enjoy making this concept video and I would love to see this in 2K22, the chances are the game's already almost finished and they're not going to do this. And my entire video was pointless because it's not going to happen anyway, because I'm just asking way too much. And I'm probably just speaking into a void. So this has been a massive waste of my time. Bye! Have a great time.